demonstration at the Christmas Bible by medical students against fees. This has been an issue that has been there, I think, starting last semester in January. They first attempted to hike fees for the same medical students, and there was a demonstration. So the administration, the University of Zimbabwe, intention of continuing to hike fees despite students protest. Students were brutalized by campus security, and some have been arrested. There's actually getting more game where the police are moving around in search of SRC leaders. Currently, the president has been arrested. The treasurer general has been arrested. The secretary of sports has also been arrested. That is Kudakoshe Kuta, like Nishas Mkwiji, and Sigit Crime. Evicted on campus arbitrarily by the administration. Some were left in the cold, others do not even have the capacity to travel, stay outside Harare as to stack up. Right now, I think at 2 o'clock, it's more than students in we've filed in which is the coaching application. I think it's being heard right now at 2 o'clock. It's a case of Clifford Charera versus the first respondent is the University of Zimbabwe, and the second respondent being the Vice Chancellor, Professor Nyakura. So we are very optimistic. We are doing the work for human rights. We are doing leadership. We are optimistic that there is a strong case to argue. We hope students will be allowed to attend back and also access education. And these demonstrations actually response by the students union to Minister Jonathan Moore. It's failure, or rather, the dereliction of duty. We engaged in on the 21st of April, a set of proposals and demands as to reducing fees for students, also ensuring that students, especially doctors, they get money, they work, they go on attachment in Parenya Hospital and other state institutions, but they are forced to work under slave-like conditions. Considering that they don't get paid, the means of Dr. Parenya, we've tried approaching him, but it's also now shocking that the administration is now coming on to impose more fees on those same students. And one, there's a union who not condone that. You actually are calling the Minister of Higher Education that he maybe try and focus on his role and duty as the Minister of Higher Education, Science and Technology, and ensure that students enjoy their right to education, as enshrined by Section 7 of the new Constitution. Was failure to do so, this protest to result in more like giving it the University of Technology. We are still trying to engage them through our SRC thing in the same way we did use it, but failed. So what if they take it to our proposals that they do not take fees to our demands that we actually are in need of academic grants and loans. Ensure that the demonstration is strong. So yeah, I think I'll end the more for the president.
Okay, salutations, dear comrades. We gather at a set moment where young people, the students of the public, were victimized time this week. These are medical students who had only their pens, their books, trying to emphasize on the issue of fees, because the issue of fees is the same incident that has led to the highest dropouts of students in the country. And at the same time, it has led also to victimization of students in their livelihoods. because we were confronted also with a situation that students are staying with garden boys pleasant because their parents at the same time they cannot pay the fees are being retrenched. But it comes also at a set time where these students were gathered peacefully in the Students' Union building, the offices of SRC. But it's now so we find solidarity, but it's of at the end of the day led to riots where students were now being brutalized by the green bombers because they thought now the game was now political, trying to express themselves. So as ZINASU are giving a clear statement that yes, solidarity confines us. Solidarity is what but and there's an element of that to have politicians coming to try and hijack maybe students what processes. So giving a way forward, as the Secretary General has also said that we will try to engage the minister on the issue of fees. We wrote letters as the union wanted. So with the current situation that universities are increasing fees, these demos cannot stop. Today, the SRC is sitting with the administration, but if they fail to reason with the students, I think we are also expecting a demonstration in Chile University.
Yeah, all this comes at a set time where the government institutions financially there is a sharp increase in students. They're not taking takes at colleges, but the government sponsorship towards education is dwindling. And instead of also rising, there is dwindling. That the government is not concerned about education. They are robbing us for futures. And now they move to evict these students. Why we to go to court? It's because we really want the in Zimbabwe who be able to secure us so that next time when we get sick, we don't have to go to. Next time when we get sick, we don't have to fly some other for our children want to give birth, they will go to far off lands. So that even if the court case they are not true in our favor, we need to demand that students they are right to education, they should come back in the and continue since they also paid their full fee, they paid fees, they also paid accommodation fees. Numbers arbitrarily is not only sensitive but it's also unreasonable. It's an unreasonable move by the authorities. So yeah, I think like the president said, there's more national students union value issues of solidarity and would like to appreciate all other individuals organizations who are assisting students. Some brought in food, others even the temporary accommodation, but largely some students are still out there open value that and also the small rights for human rights for. And in the same line, I also want to reiterate the secondly, against politicians, political players for coming and trying to score cheap political goals by standing on top of the shoulders of whose only agenda is access to education. It's making sure they get education, they get grants, they enjoy academic freedoms. And now students tell us that have been arrested. But if you check last semester, a similar demonstration against fees was held. It was very, very successful. The fees were reduced. And then this semester, it was in the same manner, same fashion. The students have been arrested. They risk also expulsion or suspension. It is rather unfortunate. But however, this does not justify the administration to do an onslaught on students. At the end of the day, students have the right to demonstrate or to express themselves. Students have the right to stand up against injustice. Students have the right to education. Warning the University of Zimbabwe to stop treating these grounds of injustice of victimizing students who want to access education. We have some of the videos. We're going to follow one by one the green bombers, train security guards who guarded the University of brutalized students. God also the videos. We're also going to furthermore engage the Zimbabwe Women Rights Commission and ensure that all procedures are taken to ensure that justice prevails on campus. Any question? If any question,
Yeah, a couple of questions. The first question is on the issue of double, you call it double what? Double intake, yeah. And hiking of fees. Don't you think that this is not an issue which is peculiar to Zimbabwe alone? It's a global trend, and the world over is actually tackling these situations whereby fees are having to be hiked, needing to take care of the students and are having to hike the fees. You are talking of the issue of Chinoi Technical University. How much are they paying at the moment, and to how much are the authorities the new fees should be? On the issue of Mawarire, I'm not so sure why you seem to be condemning his involvement in USA. But don't you think that maybe to a certain extent is an ordinary Zimbabwean with its rights as well? But if you openly castigate him the way you're doing, then it will also sort of you being jealous that is now stealing the limelight.
Okay, I think I'll answer part of the question to answer. The first is about double indexing besides. In Zimbabwe, unlike other countries, but we also forgot to mention other countries like Germany, like Norway, getting education for free, getting grants. But in those countries where there are double indexing besides, you speak maybe to the United States of America, there are student loans. Students can actually learn, they're not deprived of higher education. But however, the Zimbabwe's case is a bit peculiar. You see, some of the fees, if they are audits to be, because in our letter to the principal, we demanded, I think, issues to do with the first public accountability system. Well, each and every semester, there are monies that are looted. Monies that are used to sponsor political rallies, the Million Men March. If the person is a deputy, I can tell you that on average, each university at least 100,000 is looted. That event. There's a case of Shadowing was a former SRS NAST. He was on the course. We requested he was given 10,000 just to fight force and return. I don't know what type of news we were eating or how big the bed he was sleeping. No, maybe I appreciate it. But because of corruption, also as the Minister of Financial Education, Jonathan Moore, isn't a fan. He says he's body bicycles for chiefs in Georgia. I mean, for education, we just need to buy political support, also pushing against elections. Unfortunate. And most of them, their policies, they are misguided. We hear this command, this command, this command, this. But if they're really genuine about building the future of the nation, if we come up with this, make command education where we'll be getting grants, we'll be getting free education as what used to happen before, would really appreciate. Then I think on the more issue passing in, it has happened before. I'm sure it was ZINASU or another party instance. So also happened to political parties. We are just protecting firstly the interests of the students. Fourthly, we do not the idea, the agenda demanded to be made played. Both, as I told you last semester, exactly the same issue. Fees was reduced, but now if you go to the University of Zimbabwe, even the SARS members, they cannot move freely. Some of them could be, but no longer about the fees or anything. It's something, politicized something else. And we've had even the same problem with political parties and politicians. Yeah, so in short, it's not about whatsoever. We are very important that he is right, they shouldn't have arrested him. That's what he did. But however, if you check within the ordinance, if you check if the students charge the professors, which I can provide to everyone, they are clear of students' conduct. The SRC president, the SRC settled for sports, and the SRC right now they are arrested. The charges don't even have anything to do with the fees. They are academic features, which are also at stake. So it's an aspect where actually you appreciate solidarity. In as much as I said today on a political solidarity in that students who have what if I were being given accommodation in food, etc. But at the end of the day, there's weighing the consequences now and also the intentions now say, but to what benefit that was actually interfering. But it brought me in numbers with the exam saying, but even part of the planning, which is this was an issue which started 3 weeks ago, there was actually a meeting as part of means. There was a meeting between the SRC and the administration. And this demonstration was being planned long, very long. Then he said that if it may be the way the things turned out, students getting more from the students. And I'm sure if I talk to them, most of them and their parents are calling us, they're calling the SRC members, the us from ZINASU, but is it about fees? At the end of the day, fees like this, they're not willing to actually pay the full what to the fee size. I can give you the number of the vice president. He's actually the president since the president is arrested. Don't have to change. You interview, you hear the calls that they are receiving in this. Some of them are saying, but look, if this is about it, then the students' union should be banned because we send our kids to go to school, not to be jammed in the code, not to incur extra expenses. Not to this. And like what is threatening right now is threatening to defend the father. I will refer you to medical students who are actually failing because they've done it before, after there was interference by politicians from political parties. Where no more demonstrations, so no, we start here and end there till the no petition. Politicians will come, cause mayhem, so that they get political mandate. So that's our only concern is now that yeah, we appreciate solidarity. It come in various forms, but solidarity it defeats our cause. So in solidarity now it gives us problems. Then yeah, but our enforced solidarity with him, he's been victimized. He should be free. Actually, there's a name we have started using the hashtag free. The hashtag free.
Okay, also I'll respond. I think the SG deliberated on a number of issues, but I'll respond basically mainly to the issue of Chino Invest. The fees estimate, they charge fees pertaining the programs that we fees for people studying tourism, there's fees for people studying accounting, but the general fee for everyone 120, but they want to increase it to 620 or 40 in that engagement. And also the issues of fees, as you asked, saying that many countries are facing challenges on these fees, I guess. But looking at the context of Zimbabwe, we're in a country where 15 billion just disappeared. 6 months down the line, a certain political party, which is in the government, is buying cars. But with $15 billion just disappeared. What if they just took 20% of that 15 billion and invested it in education? In a country where We have diamonds, but those diamonds, they are sent, of course, to the Far East friends. But we have students also who are studying mining at School of Mines, but there is no equipment, if you want, what they are studying at School of Mines.
Yeah, the problem we're facing is more fresh crisis because students from the School of Mines shafts down the fuel. They are forced to pay $2,000. You pay 10. They go for attachment and they don't get even paid it one. After paying full fees, and then they go to attachment. Their accommodation is not catered for. They work in risky environments, they are not even paid. But look at the end of the day, whether they are on work-based learning into the production that happens in that mine or company or so. And there's also the same issue with these student doctors. The Minister of Health is not even giving them anything for their livelihoods. They even interact with critical injured people, they perform operations. It is one student last semester, he died at Parañato after he succumbed to pains. He was left, he was given machines which were substandard, etc. And that student was buried. So it's also about concern for education. It's also about the government really caring about our future. These guys, most of them, the ministers, even they manage to learn for free. And even under the White Smith process regime, with the of some of these guys, they are access education for free. And but now, more than this, 7 years down the line, it seems like a crime to be intelligent, to be enrolled in financial aid that you find with semesterized academic fines, well over $700 in average. On top of that, there's issues to do with accommodation. You have to pay accommodation for paying tuition fees, pay for foods, etc. Blah blah blah. But there's money, there's corruption. So it's also about the leadership crisis where these guys are not considered about students. You see them touting, opening other avenues to give students loans, blah blah blah. It will only have another avenue for looting, just like they did for the youth now. And why it was 2018? If managed to get it was elections, at least with something, but I'm trying to show you that the capacity is there, but the political things for political expedience. They only do things to ensure that they benefit. But when it comes to, well, for example, the issue of student funds, if it really was about development in Zimbabwe, if just given the students, both students in polytechnic colleges, they get allowance on their own attachment, allowance on incentive. Some of them in the right poly, they have 5 months in arrears, they are suffering, they don't have money for food, they don't have money to pay fees. It's being taken to buy bicycles for chiefs, it's being taken to sponsor 1 million march, and the leadership sees it as a proper justification that I'm not doing this. It's about the political dividends, giving students loans or making sure polytechnic students get their allowance in time. Doesn't make that all into my fault. Maybe if I go to the chiefs day, if I go to the main match. But we're not going towards 2018, they're saying we are still waiting. We hope they will come, but it was since December last year, we said they will close the grant. But students are being, if they will come back to failure to pay much fees, students are being barred from learning, suffering it.
And also again, after looting something like 15 below, you find the same students, they have also to pay attachment fee. What is the need for attachment fee while they're doing community service? For pass fee.
Fees, then attachment, they say attachment fee on top. They're not like using the Wi-Fi campus, they're not like using the Christian campus, they're not like sitting in lecture. You'll be somewhere there down the working, you're not getting paid. They need to pay fees. They make students forced to make wage fee. But look, I already made wage fee, but they won't allow me to get into lecture if I don't pay the $5. But what is that money being used for? what is that money being used for? So there are a lot of funds which capacity is there, but then the will power, also the will to get progress. The government, yeah, I think they are done. Any question, yeah.
Firstly, I wanted to know, do we still have some of the students who are not yet accommodated? Number one. Then number two, you're coming out guns blazing towards Mawali, but you have admitted yourself that it's not the first time that you've had political interference. We've never had you so harsh towards those political parties.
I will refer you, I think, to its last year in January.
And thank you. Before you answer, we have got charts that we got showed that Mawali actually was invited by an anonymous to come and pray during the demo.
All right. I think to respond to that, I think it's a distortion of faith. Go there, Google Zakaria Shwatu was spokesperson of ZINASU. Place in Labas, I think it was Mr. Jamisa, who is a former union leader, saying no, ZINASU for students. I can refer you to a headline, it was 2013 in the Daily News. Then last year, it was around April, when President Safunya wrote a president saying stop interfering. And actually, those presidents, when they would come to school, they would have been invited by their sympathizers. Like in the case of, if you refer to 20, one of the people who invite and saying come, it's likely to have some students saying come. So if anyone is saying by the anonymous, their chats, yeah, they just call it necessary. No necessary member. They actually distancing themselves from him. And I even wonder out there sharing themselves as a president, but they're saying no, they are distancing themselves. Never someone infected, and even in sports, they never infected. So I don't know about that anonymous student. It's not particular. This is not new. It's not guns blazing. Just one what is best for the student. One student to benefit. One education. And on politics, I refer to Zakaria Shwatu news. There are cases there. President Safunya, the given president, their case, and also the previous on people in the book. There are also cases where he was came up with blessing against the movement.
Including the money that was used for the Million Men March? Did you make noise about it?
Man, that was, yes, we did. Before the book, now we can, the case of the man that, yeah, on Jordan, I think they paid off in the air out. Could make positive coverage from the air out. Or statements or protest to score the function of politics. What would affect was not because of which photo was, but it was just access to education. It was just we wanted the students to get their allowances. But however, the problem is now people politicize everything and take their own functional length. Seems like a hostage, but look, there's a genuine case of corruption. Even in the case of command agriculture, who I'm paying for that for those who they are represented assumption bills which will pass in parliament and who the tests that are being or the costs that are being paid post command agriculture. As Zimbabweans who end up paying for them. But right now, instead of saying no, there's corruption, there are abnormalities, people are not saying chief fertilizer cost chewing up small, but it's not about chewing up small. What about the people? What about the man that is being abused? Our problem is how politicize everything is. And right now, even you pass the fan can't prison. But look, one of the students, one of the issues that was there, one of the agenda of the demonstration. The problem where we tend to get things twisted, it's about which it's again that I think it's a disease that will kill us as a nation. Where we fail to do it, no, this is corruption, no, this is an anomaly, no, this is something. Things they are. I think up until such a time when the ordinary Zimbabwean, the ordinary people see things objectively and do not see through proper hands, it's when we will be able to move forward as a nation. It's when we will even be able to do mature politics, not what is currently happening.
But do you think that you are to blame as ZINASU because for MTC to be there, it was because of ZINASU, UA, and the NCA, and so forth? You were part of the political side in MTC, but why sort of distancing yourself from the political affiliation now just because Mawali is coming in?
Not now. that more is coming in one. Like the examples I gave before of the administration of President Conway, Comrades Short was spokesperson, and give you the issue now of even if you go take part over the question making. Because the union actually saying that the union were independent with our issues. Then they live in the current administration of President Stafuni, the previous one of people to those issues they were saying. It's not that Mawari is the first time we was saying no, not interference. It has been said before and there are records to prove that. Then also it's now we should also understand that we have general council meetings with Congress, we should make decisions. The Congress of the time of President Nimoshachungu, he made a decision. But the administration which followed also made their decisions and said, we're moving on to this, we're doing this. And even if you are to maybe give birth to something or create something, you are forced to actually own it if you may not want to own it. I know of parents of this own children. And I know of even comrade they once they organized which he distanced himself from, but he was the founder. It's a case, it happens normal. Like this is an ordinary thing.
It's not so in short. Can you just maybe answer me this question in short? Are you regretting the political interference in Zimbabwe?
Yes, to be honest.
And why?
Political interference in ZINASU, well, creating it because as a union, there are many processes and programs that we have edited, even yet the media center. Copy, memory. We tried that in more press conference. To fight, blah, blah, blah. No, we want to say this, no, I don't brought this. One distance yourself from this. Even activities, the union, small national students union has been split before. And that split is seriously compromised in terms of the progress of the students in field. Also in terms of our revolution in the students in Zimbabwe. Some of the issues which we could have won or fight for independently. At the end of the day, political parties have their interests, which are really political. During the JMU era, all politicians you can speak of, from DZ, PTP, the MTCT, the MC Green, they are presidents in power, but they do not get in plans. The presidents are in power, but some of us even got victimized during the JMU era, we got suspended. That students' issues, which are purely about that's the education academic freedoms. But because of interference, interference is coming to what they would want to get students to just use them as stepping stones, like I said, to reach their political agendas and political goals. Just like in this case. Because to really check even the motive, I think.
Well, I understand that you're not the first union to receive what you're calling interference from outside people, be they politicians or leaders of this so-called social movement. I understand ZINASU has seen a problem recently where leaders of so-called social movements got involved in some of their demonstrations. What are you going to do in the future? The interference of outsiders.
Okay, I believe as ZINASU we have a code of conduct, we have a constitution, which was revised by the council, and it clearly made it that ZINASU is a non-partisan union. It only articulates for students' crises and student issues, and to remain independent from any outside interference. Although we value the sense of what? Of solidarity. People, you realize they say ZINASU is affiliated to this political party because they see a certain former ZINASU leader going to join a certain political party. People like Tubo Tafatamkwad was a ZINASU president, but he joined ZANU-PF. Does it mean ZINASU is ZANU-PF? Myself, I finished my term as ZINASU president. I go and join maybe the informal sector. Does that mean ZINASU is now in the formal sector? The nation has got its own general mandate. when the generation of Len Mojuda John was in power, it saw it necessary to form a political party which had to address the issue of one party state, which has to bring the issue of democracy in Zimbabwe. Those were the generational struggles that were there.
One last question. Where do you draw the line that this is political interference, this is...
Political interference.
Where do you draw the line?
The line is when you come to want to assist, you engage in the of power. There's a clear sense which was part of the demonstration, which is organized the demonstration. And everyone say, as any student or anyone, you say this as president, you say first president, you say this as they will find it. And you communicate, say, no, I want to assist in this way. You come into my house, you saw a snake going in and you don't see the snake. And you come into my house and say, I found him also, I want to kill a snake. But no, look. And here, why did you tell me that you want to assist me? There's a snake in my house. So political interference is characterized by people coming and fighting, like what happened in the case of President Party. That's political interference. It is happening with political politicians. If that person comes, there is no value. They don't know but what this person means. There's another benchmark to see political interference, which is malicious. Malicious political interference is also seen when this person is actually other personal intelligence whatsoever. What I can give, for example, there is a when this is the council, if you say the assistant council. At least if they come, they can say, no, we're coming also students, also student leaders. We understand, but then it means there was something was a reason which we don't know which they wanted to end. Also, as political parties that no, this is fish, this is my chance, there's an interference. Also, if not to make anything, it has created cause problems. That for the but at the end of the day, there's the issue of the street. Well, the problem is if a causing apart within sport. Both sides will get beaten. You still to be taken. But once I will make our politics strategy, or what case of make it strategy. Say demonstration students here, no, demonstration is getting arrested. And they won't come, they won't participate. Always that's what those will put it from scratch after a long time after choose political interference. Straight with team of light, because we see that we're moving political agendas. How does this forward my agenda to forgetting if when the action actually triggers a new strategy that is my right? Ask me to get a access to education when actually after we did this section access to education for fees is being reduced. Now there are other issues that are things. The students will not participate. It's not doing justice. Parents were calling ETC saying about no, yeah, both we do not know when parents feel the shame saying I will not choose their what is the reality? If I give you the numbers of the survivors, they are getting calls which are sitting. They're so sorry for them. They would just be near, but they are afraid. What's the use? They just made it clear that no going to get it was not about students, issues to be so what if it was not more by the parents during or in your demonstration? Were you going to mention like what you did? I'm not saying more. If it was going to be a parent who is a child, a parent who is forking out fees to pay for a child. He's just a parent. She's just a parent. Were you going to mention? Yeah, if the parent came and caused problems, would really mention. But if the parent condemned the brutal attack on peaceful demonstrators. I think it's clear.
Okay, it was peaceful.
Medical students armed with intelligence, painters, stethoscopes, peacefully demanding their right to learn armed with instruction. I think it's clear.
Everywhere it seems like you for being you are highly I'm not here to cause confusion. I understand that Ivan Maurina is sent from USA. There was coverage in the press that is contemplating running for the presidential election. So then my question would be regarded as a normal citizen who's just attending a demonstration. He can actually be viewed in the same way as actually the presidential aspirant going to seek out.
Yeah, I think exactly to also that question also partly now why there's a problem. Students goes on. So are being persecuted not for demanding the right to live, persecuted for bringing outsiders, and even if you have to check the first regulation, they said don't bring outsiders. If you're an outsider, if you're going there, you first go through a security, get a pass. But if you're a student, then you bring whatever, like an example parent that you say that it becomes active, maybe the students. First, that's trespassing in two procedure that is passing. Even during times of SRS elections, if you are not just brought in outside, you'll be automatically disqualified. Even if you eat sports, you bring someone else from outside. And you smuggle them within the team, they say, I know it's that I want the team. You'll be disqualified and you'll be expelled. And also now in this case where there's someone who clearly maybe political issues, yeah, you find that it played the problem that it played the students' lives. That's why the parents are calling, they're saying, what's it about fees or something? Well, they're going to admission, but why are you doing this work? They're saying, no, there's another agenda. And even in their language and everything, they're not speaking anything. That is long forgotten it. I mean, they're trying to say, no, it's about fees. They started the problem out. Very soon, watch the space, you will they bring someone. So, it will happen. They will suffer it.
It's a question that is still some
yeah, there. He was only all the way said some days when I talked to him saying 60 something students was what